All right, and we should be recording. So welcome to whoever are watching or listening to this. This is a little bit part of the Lifestyle and Design Convention, where I'm one of the speakers. My name is Michael Lassen, and Kai, the organizer, asked me to do a couple of short sort of coaching sessions with a couple of different people, just so people can get a taste of what's going on in a session. I've been helping Kai quite a lot, both with marketing and some coaching as well. And one of the things we talked about is that we really like to give value and to demonstrate before asking for anything in return. And this is really part of that. And then Kai suggested that I took a talk with Charlie. So I will forgo the introduction of me just for now, because it's going to be about you and what you would like to work on tonight. So Charlie, if you would just introduce yourself quickly and let me know how I can help you. What's your current challenges?
Okay, yeah, my name is Charlie. I'm from Fribourg in Switzerland. And I met Kai, I think, in April this year. And I'm really into this personal development stuff, like develop yourself, stepping out of your comfort zone. And with Kai, I really saw what is possible. I had an awesome transformation the last, I think, 8-9 months. And currently I'm studying psychology.
Yeah.
And I'm really interested in being like a coach. I don't really know in which direction, but yeah, to coach people, to help people, because there are like some friends and some people that I know which I inspired with my transformation, with my drive.
Yeah.
And yeah, I would love to do this as sort of a job, like to coach people or something.
Yeah.
But I think there are so many opportunities like right now, and I have no idea where do I have to go. And I'm also a bit of afraid that I will lose some time, because I think time is precious.
Mm.
And now I have like these opportunities. I know Kai, I know you, and I can even speak to some speakers of the convention like Steve Pavlina. And yeah, I wanna take this opportunity and make the best out of it and ask for advice.
Okay, cool.
Some mentorship, yeah.
Yeah. So right off the bat, that I just want to mention that I really like the attitude and the intention behind when you say that you don't want to lose time, because that's the big thing. Time is the only thing we cannot replace. We can replace money, we can replace material things, etc. But we can't replace time, obviously. At least not yet, so as far as I know.
Of course.
So what's important to realize is that one of the most important ways of especially starting a business is that you want to really, and this is going to sound weird, is you want to fail fast. And ideally you shouldn't be afraid to quote unquote fail.
Yeah,
I'm going to go into more on that later, because what happens is that the faster you potentially fail, the more feedback you will get, and the more potential closer to the right path for you you're going to be. And it will vary from business to business, but for some businesses it's really just about going out and taking a hell of a lot of action and shooting left and right and then see what sticks. In this situation it's going to be far more different. But the most important thing is that you realize that what can happen when you go out and test something new. And having the test mindset is a really good thing in the beginning, is that only really 3 positive things can happen. That either A, you get your goal, which is to help people make money, and hopefully learn yourself as well, because that's one of the great things about coaching and working with people, is that the more you learn, the better you become, and you can use that in your own life, in your own business. And it's really the secret to getting to the highest leverage point, the highest potential of your capabilities, is to teach other people. That adds the last extra layer to your capabilities. So realize that of those three things, the first thing is that can happen, which is obviously pretty cool, is that the things work out exactly like you wanted them. The second thing is that they don't. But then what the cool thing is that you have the control and the opportunity to figure out what you could learn from what happened. You can learn from your action, and quite often that learning can become even more valuable than if you had gotten your initial goal, because we need to learn things, we need to learn and integrate things in order to grow to the next level. So sometimes when that sort of number two thing happens, it can be even better than getting the initial goal. And then the final cool thing that can happen is that you don't get your goal, and there's nothing to learn. And just around here, people usually look sort of funny at me and go, well, what could possibly be cool about not getting my goal and not learning anything? But at least you can take control over using it as a training, as a practice of keeping your focus on where it will benefit you the most, which is toward your goals. So especially for someone like you starting out, realize that basically no matter what you do, as long as you take action steps, which is where you can learn the most, you have the control yourself to make it into something that empowers you, sort of that it becomes a stepping stone or a building block in your foundation. And as we all know from the cliche, the wider foundation we have, the higher we can build. So that's the first thing I wanted to mention, is that think about that as a positive thing. You have that mindset, because that's a big part of getting success.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So are you studying psychology at university?
Yeah, I'm in the second year now. I just started last year.
Yeah.
But I have to say that it's not that bad, but it's really it's theoretical, you know. It's nothing practical. Yeah. It's not going out and talking to people and stuff. It's just learning and yeah, I think there are also better possibilities for me, especially.
Yeah, it's like, well, I could get thrown out of coaching federations if I told my honest opinion about most psychology studies in universities. But like you said, it's more geared toward a career in psychology than actually going out and helping people, and at the very least, helping people as fast as possible. So it sounds to me like that's what you want to do, is that you want to help people, you want to make a change.
Yeah, it's sort of that, yeah, to help people to push themselves, to to believe more in themselves that they do, you know. Like also Kai did the same to me, like pushing their capabilities. Yeah. Something like this, yeah, like real coaching.
Yeah. Well, one of the opportunities I think you have starting out is that you sort of have the benefit of not having huge expectations of getting somewhere really quickly, or sort of expectations of having to reach certain big points really fast. Because what I see as an opportunity for someone like you is that because you're sort of in the beginning phase, that you can also sort of invest more of yourself and invest more of your own time, and by that you actually have an edge over, for example, someone like me who likes to, you know, spend an hour and charge my $300 and also be available for questions and things like that. Is that what I think is your opportunity is to make a big promise and really make yourself available big time to your clients, whether it's actually coaching with them one-on-one live, or it's being able to be available, let's say on Skype all the time, or email, but really going the extra mile in order to get some results. Because starting out, it's going to be those results that will help you gain new clients and gain more clients. Especially in coaching, you know, word of mouth is the #1 way of getting clients, because, well, first of all, you get the best clients when it's word of mouth, because they don't have to be sold. They have already heard about you from someone they know, like, or trust. So there's a lot of benefits to that, and the best way of doing it is to create great case stories. So, And the other thing is that really investing a lot of your time in the beginning also gives you great insights into sort of the market or the niche that you choose. And we're also going to talk about that, because one of the crucial things for coaching is that you want to decide who you want to work with. Who is it, and who is it? Actually think about it right now. Who do you feel right now that within a short time frame that you can make a big difference for? Let me just ask you that right now. Do you have an idea of that already?
Do you mean the time that I would take to?
No, what type of people? It's going to be like athletes or guys who want more confidence with women. Is it going to be young people who are confused about what to do with their lives, or something completely different?
Yeah, like some sort coaching, like more younger people, like in the age of me, because I think if a 21, 22-year-old guy would coach like 30 or 40-year-old guys, it wouldn't make that sense for me. So I think, yeah, especially younger
Yeah,
guys.
by the way, we have to write an email to Tony Robbins and tell him that what he did in the 80s was all wrong.
Okay. Yeah, how old was he? Like 70?
He was in his early 20s when he started.
Okay.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. That is probably the biggest leverage point for you right now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So then my second question would be, is that what type of young people would have the biggest type of problem that they can see the value in getting rid of or getting improvement on?
I think like young guys, perhaps confidence in general, like confidence in athletes in sports. Right now, also I'm really into sport, about fitness, for example. Also, like, yeah, confidence in general with girls, with what doing with their lives. I think that's a big issue for many guys right now, for many people.
Yeah.
Especially of young people, like early 20s, 18, 19.
Well, one thing could be that you mentioned what to do with their lives, and you mentioned confidence. So, for example, one thing you could start with is to sort of position yourself as the confidence guy, and for example, make the point that confidence is often the X factor, if you will, in a lot of different areas in life, or the missing key or missing piece, or finding a name for it that you can use again and again. So, for example, in sports, there's actually been research that your confidence level will determine whether you perform 38% better than otherwise when you have confidence, or on the contrary, you will perform 38% lower if you don't have confidence.
38, okay.
Yeah, and for example, the same thing with finding out what you want with your life. Well, if you have confidence in yourself and confidence in your ability to become something great or do something with your life, you're going to make better decisions, because you're going to make decisions from a place of possibilities and positivity, instead of from a place of fear or settling for what's good enough, things like that. You mentioned, what was the third thing you mentioned?
Sports, life in general, also like guys with girls, some confidence issues with.
I mean, confidence is one, maybe the thing there, because if it's not there, all you get is pity sex. And though that might be better than nothing, still it's that's not really where you want to go. So maybe that would be something you could start out with testing. And that's a huge thing to remember, is that we can sit here and we could have a one-day consultation and map out all kinds of different really cool advanced strategies, and at the end of the day, it's the market that gets to decide. And for a thing like that, the best thing you can do is that, for example, decide upon that, okay, fuck it, I'm going to test the confidence thing, and I'm going to talk with some people in those three areas and see how it resonates with them. And just in general, talk to them and figure out what are they thinking. And ideally, you want to figure out what are their objections to getting help with confidence.
I mean, you mean the issues, right? To talk with them and search the issues and stuff.
Yeah, and figure out what would be some of the reasons that they wouldn't get coaching or get help with confidence. And maybe you have to test if coaching is the right word to use, because for some people it's sort of been overused, or they have a too general idea of what it is.
Yeah,
so if you mention coaching, they might put you in a box with a lot of other people, or maybe if they had one or two or maybe more coaches and it hasn't worked out, then you don't even have a chance from the beginning. So that would be another thing. But basically what would be ideal is that if you figure out what are some of the reasons people are not interested in coaching, or doesn't believe that you can help them, because then instead of hoping that doesn't come up when you talk to new potential clients, is that you want to feature why that's not the case, and you want to feature it through stories. One of the things I do is that I often take the opposite frame of what that objection is, and I present that as a really good thing. So for example, let's say let me ask you, what do you think could be one of the reasons why that people wouldn't work on increasing their confidence?
Yeah, I think perhaps fear of rejection is a big thing.
Yeah, so the fear of rejection.
Failing of rejection,
yeah. Well, actually, you could use my model, the three-step model I told about early when we started out, and have that as part of your initial conversation with people, and say, hey, I heard from this wacky guy that no matter what action we take, there can only be 3 positive outcomes, and oftentimes it's the quote-unquote failing one that we fear the most, that are gonna give us the biggest potential and the biggest breakthroughs. So at least by mentioning that, you're going to lessen the risk that it's going to be a deal breaker, because you framed it in the opposite way, that, well, what they used to fear can actually be the thing that's needed in order to get to where they want to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. And what you talked about, your mindset that you gave me in the beginning, like with these 3 outcomes, like the test mindset. I just wrote it down, but I haven't the third one. Like the first one, it's you get the goal. The second one is you learn when you fail fast, like feedback.
Yeah.
And what was the third one?
That was that you get practice in keeping your focus.
Okay.
Keeping your focus is one of the most crucial skills you can have. So it's always good with training, with practice.
Yeah, of course.
And the thing is, if you're not able to do that, well, then you go back into number 2, which is then there's something you need to learn, something you need to integrate. So no matter what, it will fit into one of those 3 boxes. That's like a wonderful, wonderful pre-frame of a lot of things.
Yeah, of course. Of course, yeah.
So how do you feel about that as a starting point, focusing on confidence and focusing on getting feedback from those 3 different areas?
Yeah, you mean like the coaching, right? Coach confidence.
Yeah.
Or what do you mean? Yeah, I think it's a really good idea, but I have always the idea, to be a coach, you can only bring the people to your level and not above. And yeah, I have always the feeling like, I'm not good enough right now. I have to wait like 6 months more, and then I procrastinate. And I think for me it will be the case, I'm always thinking like, shit, I need more time, I need more experiences, to be a better coach, to finally start.
Yeah, and then when you're 80 and you're looking back, you can sort of have the satisfaction of going, you know what, I really took my time, and now I'm really ready.
Okay, that's right, yeah.
No, but the more serious point is that the intention behind that is cool. That is that you want to do the best possible, and the reality is that the best way possible you can help people is right now, because in a couple of days it might be too late, in the sense that they will have made or created a belief that it's not for me. The other thing is that, for example, a lot of times if we imagine that from where people are when they're starting out, let's say your ideal clients, to where they end up as completely enlightened human beings with all the success in the world. Let's say that there's 20 steps. You know, there's actually certain advantages in having someone like you who might be on level 4 or 3 even, compared to someone like me who's obviously at step 19.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. Because you know, you can relate better, and you can have a higher level of empathy, and you can remember it, and maybe be more present in their situation than someone like me who's been doing it for 17 years. So that's one thing. The other thing is that you can. I would definitely recommend that you don't charge as much as you're going to in 5 years.
Yeah,
that you really give a great offer in the beginning to make it as a no-brainer as possible, because that also lessens the sort of level of marketing or even copywriting skills that you would need if you were to charge $300 an hour or $200 an hour. So making it as no-brainer offer as possible. And I would highly recommend that you also have some type of satisfaction guarantee, because you know that way, that's one of the easiest way of making it into a no-brainer, is that you are invested in the results as well. Because if the results are not there, you're not getting paid, or you have to give them their money back. So realize that what you need to do to help other people is only be a couple of steps ahead of them. And the way to sort of turn it around for you could be that you use it as leverage of saying, hey, you have to remember on working on yourself, because otherwise all your clients are going to catch up with you, and
of course, yeah,
and you have to hire them.
Of course, yeah.
So does that make sense? If you just take a moment to think about it, how would that feel to use it as leverage of going, hey, you know, I've helped these guys to step 2 and step 3, so I have to move as well. So I can either keep them as client or start attracting higher level clients.
Yeah, it makes totally sense, of course, yeah. And I think it will be also motivation for me if I can push some guys, you know, to even my level that I have now. Yeah, it's really, yeah.
Well, and automatically, practically automatically, you will grow yourself because you have helped other people. And it's something that I underestimated for about 10 years, and I went, nah, no, that can't be true. And then I realized, and I went, oh, fuck, it really is fucking true, man. So, you know,
how do you start it back 17 years back?
That's a long story, but you know, I actually saw a TV show with Tony Robbins talking about phobias, and I had a phobia, so I went in and bought the book straight away the same night. Actually, went on my bike and rode it for like 6 kilometers just to get the book. Went back, read it, got rid of my phobia.
Actually?
Unlimited Power.
The red one?
What?
The red one?
I think it's in different colors depending on the release date, but it's the first one. So I got rid of my phobia, and it was actually the wrong technique I used, but it worked anyway, and I went, wow, there's something here. And then I realized that, wow, I could actually learn a lot of stuff that I can use myself and use it to help other people and make money at the same time. So I didn't look back ever since that happened, basically.
Also, my first book was actually exactly the same one. I think it's one from Tony Robbins. I was like, oh fuck, this stuff is awesome. I have to do this, like shit.
So what will happen is that when you start to coach other people more and more, is that it will integrate the material more and more. And when you use that old fear you used to have as leverage for making sure that you push yourself as well, and you push yourself out of your old comfort zones and your new comfort zones, and start spending more and more time into your growth zone instead.
Yeah, of course.
Then it can really create a potential big momentum or even propulsion system moving forward.
Yeah, I mean.
So my suggestion right now would be that your next step is to find some people to talk to, either who are into sports, some guys who are into to dating and more successful relationships, and the third one, which was what to do with your life, right?
Yeah, of course.
And then talk with them and figure out what's going on. I mean, we could spend more time on what to do and how to do market research, but basically figure out what some of their beliefs are around it, and especially their objections around why would they potentially not be interested in coaching. And then figure out an offer, whether it's what I like to do is to do coaching packages of like 5 sessions or 10 sessions. I mean, even though I have the sort of nickname of being the wizard and helping people really, really fast, I like to have an agreed set of sessions, because you sort of you can get a lot further. And also for you, it's as a coach, it's more attractive because a certain income level that you're getting, instead of only, and the other thing is that people have to make the decision once instead of making 10 decisions between each sessions. So it's a lot better that way. And then give them a deal that is tied into to some type of satisfaction or reaching a goal that you agree on. Because it's going to be better for you. It's going to be good leverage that you train yourself to only getting paid when you do a difference, and it's going to make it easier for them to say yes. Because hey, the worst thing they can do is that they could have wasted their time. But hey, if you pre-frame it with the model I just gave you, there's a big chance that that's not going to happen.
Okay, yeah, okay. Do you have a special name for this test mindset, which I can relook, or
of the model of the 3 steps? Actually, I haven't named it yet.
Okay.
That's on my to-do list, because I came up with that model actually working with guys who wanted to have more success with women. And I remember I was hired by a guy who was running a coaching program for guys. I think they were 3 or 6 months, and they lived together, and it was all they did for 3 months or 6 months was to go out and basically chasing girls. And they had gotten the assignment that they were to approach 50 girls each day. And yeah, exactly. So when I talk with them,
do they live actually? Like a big city, I think, or?
Yeah, it was in Copenhagen.
Where do they live? Okay, yeah, easy. 50 girls.
Yeah. So what happened is that none of them had a positive reaction to that. And then I remember talking with one of the guys, and it just it actually sort of just came out of my mouth, almost like an out-of-body experience. I said to him, hey, you know what? Every time you approach a girl, only 3 positive things can happen. And I mentioned those 3 things. And so I was like, wow, yeah, that really makes sense. Where did that come from? And then I realized afterwards that it works really great in business, for salespeople, for poker players, for all kinds of different situations. And now it's a big part of a model I created that not only eliminates fear, but really creates sort of a mental environment where fear cannot exist. And that's part of the reason, is that you realize that, hey, no matter what happened, I have the control, which is a huge piece as well. I have control of turning it into something I can use positively. So you have to remember that, but that's also a good thing to pass on to your clients, for sure.
Yeah, it makes
Especially
sense.
when in terms of confidence, because part of confidence also, it has to be based at least somewhat in reality, because otherwise it's not confidence, it's being crazy or psychotic or something like that, which is not recommended, at least not for long-term results.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That was another story I could tell, but I have to share that later. Because actually, one of the other guys I worked with, he had very low confidence. So I worked with him on that, and I must have made some mistake because I overdid it, and he turned, into someone who was very successful with women. But then he also got part of a reality show called Singles Life here in Denmark, and everybody really thought he was such a dick because he was so full of himself. I mean, he just took it to a completely ridiculous level while being successful, it has to be said. So I've sort of had this thing, well, should I tell people that when I worked with him, he was just a small town boy coming in full of issues, and maybe did my job really bad, or I did it too good. But I just thought it was a funny story that he was literally one of the most unconfident guys in the world, and now people started to really dislike him because he was overconfident. So, so that's a lesson in there somewhere.
Yeah. But as long as he is happy, you know, I think.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, and actually, he shouldn't give a fuck about what people think. Yeah, well, except for the ones that he's trying to get a relationship with. So yeah, it works for him. Which is also important in business, by the way, is that you should not give a fuck about what other people's thinking about you, except for your ideal clients.
Of course, yeah.
And like one of my marketing mentors, Dan Kennedy, says is that you have to. A good day is the day where you piss someone off before 12 o'clock. I think he's too radical. I would say 2 or 3 o'clock, but you know.
Shit. Okay.
Okay, so let me ask you. So, has this given you some ideas, some clarity, some more confidence, motivation, whatever?
Yeah, I think motivation is a big thing, and also now I have the idea that taking action is like the big step, like failing fast, to try something out. Because I think I wanted to begin to, you know, I'm like in the gym, like I'm into gym. I wanted to coach some guys like 4 or 5 months ago, but I didn't take action. And now I'm like, yeah, come on, just try and see if it works out.
Well, I mean, I would definitely use the word just test and see what happens, because the word try presupposes almost failure.
Okay, yeah, but what is that?
It's like Yoda in Star Wars says, there's only do or not do, there's no try. You know, I had a client once who, I mean, he would use the word try more often than Eddie Murphy would say fuck in his stand-up shows. Literally, I'm serious. So I made the rule that anytime he caught himself using the word try, he had to do push-ups. And then he had to replace the word try with the word fuck. Okay. So he said, okay, I'm going to try and see if I can, no, okay, yeah, okay. No, I'm fucking going to do whatever, and it really made a big difference.
I like this approach. I would even not use the word failure. I think
exactly, yeah. Learning
experience. Tai Lopez says, I think, like use experiment, like experiment. Clear, like not failure, try, test, and
learning experience.
There's no failure.
That's the number 2 box we talked about. You know that, and that's the most important one. Because if we don't learn and integrate it, hey, there's no growth long term.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so
truly makes sense.
So you know what to do. You have to go out and talk to people and decide on a no-brainer offer with a built-in guarantee, and be willing to do whatever it takes, and sort of demonstrate leadership in the sense that you want to go first and be congruent with your message, and probably a good idea would be for you to use it as sort of leverage, or even to qualify them and say, hey, I'm putting myself out there, both in terms of guaranteeing this, but also giving potentially unlimited amount of my time for this to work out. So I need to make sure that you have what it takes, that you're ready to, you know, give it a shot. You're ready to put in the hours. You're ready to do the exercises I gave you to do, etc., like that. Because then you're going to attract the ones who have the highest chance of actually getting the results that you want to get. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, truly.
So that turns it into an extra advantage that you're willing to do a lot, is that you demonstrate congruency, and you also put leverage on them that they have to qualify in order to get your coaching.
Yeah, it makes sense totally. Yeah, nice. I think I needed this, like some quick coaching mentorship. But you will also be at the Lifestyle Design Convention, right, in January?
Oh, sure, yeah, I'm one of the speakers there. So
okay.
So I expect you to have taken action, and I will I'll follow up with you.
Yeah, of course. I will.
And if you haven't, then we'll figure out something not so pleasant.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, of course.
All right. So I hope you got a lot out of it, and hope you take some good action, and look forward to following up. So we'll end this session for now. I actually have no idea how much time we spent, but
I think
like that, if people thought we spent too much time, they're more than welcome to ask for their money back.
Okay.
Which is like nothing. So.
Yeah, cool.
All right. So good talking to you, Charlie, and I'll see you at the Lifestyle conference in January.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Bye.
See ya.